Attention all wrestling fans! Get ready for the ultimate fan experience at the WCBS WrestleMania Fan Meetup in Los Angeles, California from March 30th through April 2nd. This event will bring together the biggest event in wrestling and your favorite podcast, as well as diehard fans from all over the world. This is the perfect opportunity for fans to connect and celebrate their love of the sport as well as their love of us. So mark your calendars, grab your tickets, and get ready to suck it and join us live. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience of the WCBS WrestleMania Fan Meetup weekend in LA. And if you're not a wrestling fan, there will be other YouTube creator events, including a trip to the brand new Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios. So listen to World Class Bullshitters Live for more updates, and for more information, email worldclassbs@mail.com. Thebestmail.com, jabroni. The superhero genre is in shambles, but it's not always a bad movie that kills a plan.
The following is a World-Class Bullshitters exclusive.
So you've no doubt heard that Shazam! Fury of the Gods is a failure. Last week we reported the paltry $32 million box office, which was enough to spell disaster for the DC film. But now there's some information that behind-the-scenes drama is responsible for more than its fair share of the failure. What kind of drama? The kind that is simply electrifying. Since we last checked in on Shazam, another weekend has passed and another major drop at the box office has happened. There was an 80% drop from Friday to Friday, and overall, it made an additional $9.7 million over the weekend. That's a 68% drop between the weeks. The tale of the box office is old as time, and so is the blame game, which is exactly what's happening behind the scenes. The box office failure of DC's latest superhero film, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, has sparked a new round of finger-pointing, with star Zachary Levi sharing an article arguing that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson should shoulder some of the blame. It all has to do with the way Johnson crashed the DC universe with his Black Adam movie, and allegedly tried to restructure the franchise around himself, rubbing some the wrong way. The Rock made his superhero debut in 2022's Black Adam, playing the titular anti-hero. Black Adam and Shazam are closely connected. The two characters get their powers in a similar way, and even both undergo transformations after saying the word Shazam. But Johnson said he convinced DC not to introduce Black Adam in the first Shazam movie starring Zachary Levi, and instead gave the character his own first film. The idea seemed to be to set up Shazam and Black Adam separately, so they're both fully fleshed out when they eventually meet and face off. And the first Shazam subtly teased Johnson's Black Adam. So fans were confused when Black Adam and a Shazam sequel, Fury of the Gods, was released within months of each other, and yet did not connect in any meaningful way that would indicate the characters are related. Days after Fury of the Gods had seen one of the worst opening weekends for DC, The Wrap reported that Johnson kneecapped the Shazam sequel. This piece revealed Johnson allegedly vetoed a planned post-credit sequence in Black Adam that would have featured Levi Shazam being recruited into the Justice Society of America, a prominent group in Black Adam. Considering Black Adam's opening weekend haul was more than twice as big as Fury of the Gods, a teaser in the latter and the former could have potentially helped boost ticket sales. Additionally, The Wrap said that Johnson didn't allow Black Adam's character to appear in Fury of the Gods, suggesting the lack of connection between the films was his doing, and he also reportedly turned down a cameo in the movie. By refusing to integrate with the other established characters, Johnson systematically crippled two franchises and has harmed DC in the process, a Hollywood insider told The Wrap. The outlet previously quoted an insider who alleged Johnson has thinly veiled disdain for the Shazam franchise. The Wrap's report also argued Johnson undermined Shazam in another way, by spending virtually his entire Black Adam press tour hyping the potential showdown between Black Adam and Superman, rather than Black Adam and Shazam. In fact, while Black Adam did not tease anything related to Shazam, it did feature a credit scene in which Henry Cavill returned to Superman, a character he had not played in 5 years. The scene implied Cavill was now back as DC's official Superman, and that he would fight Black Adam in the near future. But The Hollywood Reporter later revealed that Cavill didn't have a deal in place to return to Superman when his cameo was shot, and that Johnson masterminded the whole thing. Walter Hamada, then head of DC Films, originally nixed the idea for a Cavill cameo. The reporter said, noting that Hamada had his own Superman plans. A new version of Superman played by a black actor was expected to be introduced, for example. Cavill Superman was also closely associated with Zack Snyder's era of DC, which the studio was looking to move away from. Despite all of this, the reporter said Johnson went around Hamada and got Cavill cameo approved by Warner Bros. Pictures heads Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdy. So the perception was that Johnson wasn't satisfied to be the villain of a more low-level comedic character like Shazam, and instead was working behind the scenes to reorganize the DC universe in a way that gave himself a more significant role as the arch-nemesis of Superman. In the process, though, he may have helped make the Shazam franchise less significant to the broader DC picture. Instead of making a move, he wanted to extend the brand and make a brand centered on himself, a Hollywood executive told The Wrap. Johnson's maneuvering, which included pitching Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav directly on Black Adam vs. Superman's showdown, ruffled feathers internally, Variety reported, with a source telling the outlet Dwayne went around to everyone, which didn't sit well. His plans blew up after Black Adam disappointed at the box office, and James Gunn was hired as the new co-CEO of DC. Gunn has since confirmed that he's taking the franchise in a new direction, and plans to recast Superman. In the end, Cavill was a pawn in Dwayne's failed attempt to control a piece of DC, an insider told The Hollywood Reporter. Johnson has also confirmed Gunn isn't bringing back Black Adam anytime soon. Shazam star Zachary Levi, too, appears unlikely to return thanks to Fury of the Gods' weak performance. On Instagram, Levy shared the rap's allegations about Johnson and wrote, "The truth shall set you free." He later took to Instagram Live to insist he hasn't blamed anybody for the failure of Fury of the Gods, and only shared the article because I do not want to be blamed for things that are not on me. But he also confirmed that plans for a credit sequence tying into Black Adam were thwarted. Levy previously told ET Canada that he hasn't even seen Black Adam and sounds in no rush to do so. I've got a whole full plate of other things that I need to get on in life. Who would have thought that fans might see Black Adam and Shazam do more fighting in real life than in the movies? So The Rock's power play failed harder than he did at WrestleMania 15. Fans of The Rock knows he takes the same angle on every project. It's for the fans, or as he used to say, it's for the people. And sadly for The Rock, the people went home dissatisfied after Black Adam and even more stayed away from Shazam. Shazam Fury of the Gods is dead at the box office. On a budget of anywhere from $110 to $125 million, the film needs to make $312 million to break even. That number comes from the budget of $125 million multiplied by 2.5. As of now, Shazam Fury of the Gods sits around $100 million. Even if it required $200 million to break even, the film is not reaching that box office. On April 18th, just 1 month and 3 days after release, Shazam Fury of the Gods will be released to stream at home. That's one of the fastest turnarounds in history. How much of this has to do with The Rock's interference? While The Rock is at the center of the controversy, he's not the only thing to blame. There are two other factors beyond The Rock. First, superhero movies are on the decline. Marvel is facing the same trouble with the MCU. Ant-Man 3 was a flop, the studio is in shambles, and their slate keeps getting pushed back. The genre as a whole makes less money than it used to. Then there is the Snyder problem, which Shazam star Zachary Levi has addressed. Zachary Levi, star of Shazam Fury of the Gods, is hitting back at criticism internet DC fans aim at him and the film's floundering box office. There's a whole contingent of comic book fans that it's really unfortunate that there's this one particular group of people that think they don't like me because I don't agree with them on other comic book movies. You know who I'm talking about, he said as a guest star on the Happy Sad Confused podcast. It's felt that Levy was taking shots at the Snyderverse/DCEU fans, specifically those who've been known to be very passionate about their favored community. When James Gunn and producer Peter Safran took over the DC studios, Levy was the first one to pump the brakes and encourage others to give them a chance, despite the fact that their vision could end his run in tights. But instead of there being a conversation, they take up so many of my words, or things completely out of context, and they go and stir up all these other people that they know online, and they just all want to attack and attack and attack and attack, Levy posted, adding, they're negative to be negative, and they get off on it. And he continues, and this is really sad because this is just one example of so many examples of the amount of just venom and toxicity and bullying that goes on in these cyber dimensions. In trying to understand where the hate comes from, Levy guesses that it arises from a place of powerlessness and that fans don't hold as much sway with decision makers as we've seen. The battle between the Snyder enthusiasts and everyone else could possibly be the end of all DC comic book films. Shazam and Black Adam are both firmly a part of the Snyderverse, and their failures go against the resurrecting of the Snyderverse. Articles calling for Henry Cavill to be angry at The Rock are popping up, but the DCEU films were falling apart before Black Adam or Shazam. Some argue that the Snyderverse never took off. While they rarely earned as much money as their Marvel counterparts, their critical reception and fan reception has always been shockingly low. Half of the DCEU is rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice sits at 29%, with Justice League sitting at a paltry 39%. The Suicide Squad, the first one, is at the bottom with 26%. Fans argue that studio interference killed any hopes for these movies to succeed, but even the Snyder Cut was fraught with behind-the-scenes drama and allegations. The failure behind Shazam Fury of the Gods is a multi-part answer. There is no one single person to blame. Yes, The Rock's behind-the-scenes coup did not work, but this version of the DC universe was dying on the vine before Black Adam had ever been shot. As far back as 2016, the DCU was branded as a failure, and since then they've been scrambling to catch up with Marvel, all while putting out their own films. It has not worked, and it just died with Shazam. The whole comic book industry is nearing its end. Marvel executives are getting fired, and the films are failing to connect with audiences, and the merchandise can't be given away. DC's fresh start is their last chance to make an impact with these characters. If this version of DC doesn't work on film, then DC may never have a chance to expand its brand beyond Batman. So folks, I want to know what you think about all of this. This is a lot of behind-the-scenes drama for this movie, and honestly, the behind-the-scenes drama is more interesting than half the things on film, and that's where I think the real problem lies. Black Adam wasn't good. Shazam! Fury of the Gods was pretty good, but it keeps following these really bad movies, and it's not just Black Adam that's bad. Justice League, Wonder Woman 2, The Suicide Squad, a lot of these other movies were pretty much crap from day one. I mean, Birds of Prey, is anyone going to argue that Birds of Prey is this great cinematic masterpiece? It takes place in the Snyderverse, but it wasn't a good movie. But I've already told you what I think, so I want to know what you think. 3 questions for today. Question 1, who do you blame for the failure of Shazam? Question number 2, how did you feel about Black Adam? And question number 3, do you think DC's reboot's actually going to save anything, or are they doomed? I want to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments below. But folks, thank you for watching. This week is an exciting week. We're out here at WrestleMania, so if you want to come out to the meetup, well, watch to the end of the video. We'll have a little bumper to tell you more about it. But if you don't have that time, Thursday, 1 o'clock, March 30th, Santa Monica, Joe's Pizza. Friday, March 31st, noon, Universal Studios Hollywood. Saturday, Sunday, find us in the tailgate at WrestleMania. If you got a ticket, come on in and hang out with us. But folks, thank you for watching. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back next time with more. But in the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other. Thanks for watching today's video. Yes, it's over, but don't cry because there's more, a lot more from World Class Bullshitters. And there's only one way to get it. Hit that subscribe button below. When you do that, you'll get notifications and updates from World Class Bullshitters every time we go live. Basically, you won't miss anything. And if there's one thing I hate, it's FOMO. But the thing most people hate more than FOMO is fear of missing out on World Class Bullshitters, because there's just some things you can't undo. So folks, do yourselves a favor and never miss anything from World Class Bullshitters. One last thing before you go, hit the thumbs up button. Not for our egos, no, they're big enough as this, but it does help us fight the algorithm here, and well, it's man versus machine, and that's the real fight. But if that's not your battle, that's okay. There's one last way you can help WCBS, and that's going over to shopwcbs.com, picking up a t-shirt, a beer glass, a sweatshirt, a poster, all sorts of ways to back WCBS. The difference between us and other YouTube channels is I'm the artist that makes all this stuff, so if you enjoy art beyond t-shirts, you can even read our comic books. We got it all. We're called the epitome of pop culture for a reason, and no, again, it's not for our egos. So folks, make sure you're involved with every aspect of World Class Bullshitters, not just for us, but do it for yourself. We're making the change in entertainment everybody out there wants to see. And a special thank you goes out to all of our wonderful patrons who make this content possible. Go to patreon.com/worldclassbs to get involved and help out the channel. Attention all wrestling fans! Get ready for the ultimate fan experience at the WCBS WrestleMania Fan Meetup in Los Angeles, California from March 30th through April 2nd. This event will bring together the biggest event in wrestling and your favorite podcast, as well as diehard fans from all over the world. This is the perfect opportunity for fans to connect and celebrate their love of the sport as well as their love of us. So mark your calendars, grab your tickets, and get ready to suck it and join us live. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience of the WCBS WrestleMania Fan Meetup weekend in LA. And if you're not a wrestling fan, there will be other YouTube creator events, including a trip to the brand new Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios. So listen to World Class Bullshitters Live for more updates, and for more information, email worldclassbs@mail.com. Thebestmail.com, jabroni.